After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 619. Today is Tuesday, July 2nd. No, it's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025, as we are recording. I am Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
I was so afraid I was going to go into the other spiel. I have done 3 booktubes in 3 days, so I was on the wrong introduction.
Mm-hmm.
But
now you know.
Actually 4 in 3 days if I count the 2 that we did together.
Well, and then also, besides that, then there's our daily liturgy one that we do.
Yeah, but you do the entrance for that.
That's true.
But anyway, we're a day late because with this and that and the other thing yesterday, time got pushed back and we had the 2 booktubes to do, and so we decided to do PHN all by its lonesome today.
Yeah.
So you guys are special, okay?
And if I figure that if we run long enough where you need to get your other tea, I'll probably grab my darker glasses then.
Do you need them?
No, I don't need them right at this moment. If I do need them at some point, I'll pause and go and get them.
Okay.
But it just occurred to me, like, oh, I forgot to grab those.
So we want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you're new, we're glad that you found us. If you are returning, we're glad to have you with us. If you are new or returning and kind of still lurking in the shadows, but maybe would like to get a little more involved, just tap the little bell somewhere on that page. There's a little bell. I think it's under the video.
It is under the video somewhere.
Just tap it and you can decide how many notifications you want to get, what frequency you want to get it for. We only post like once a month, so it's not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also join our home group, which is PHN
podcast at freeforums.net.
It's in the description below
Yeah.
the video, like everything else, because, you know, sieve for brains.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and so
She's still getting her caffeine in her system.
I am, and also, like I said, 4 podcasts that are booktube as opposed to this particular thing, so I have that format running in my brain right now. But we're glad everybody's here.
Mm-hmm.
And before we get into the meat of the program, I guess we should figure out how many projects we have.
I have 4.
I think I have 6.
Yeah, I think that's what we mentioned when we were trying to figure it out yesterday.
So I had to go twice or twice once?
I think it's twice. No, wait. No, I think it's
twice once, but if I have to, I can go twice at
Okay.
the end. Okay. But before we do that, we have our tea to go through. I have my own blend. It's called Eastern Earl Grey. It's an Adagio blend, but I am the blender in that I did the bones of it, and then they do their magic, so it becomes a really nice tea.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my Adagio Owl and Other Forest Creatures mug. And it's caffeinated because I haven't had my caffeine yet. And we've got weather coming in, so I've got a little bit of a headache. So this might help with that.
Yes, and who knows how hard it will rain this time.
Mm-hmm.
When we did for BookTube, it got pretty loud. And yeah.
We've been having some pretty... We've been having weather to the point where the first storm we had to start off this spat of storms or spurt of storms stranded my husband and I in our local coffee shop, and it was coming down in sheets.
And the weather and the heat has been bad enough that both Mom and I have had particularly bad flares.
Mm-hmm.
My swelling in my right eye has only, the right side of my face actually, has only just finally gone away. It was actually probably went away on Monday.
And I had to go and get some topical medicine for mine because, well, no, I already had it, but I had to make sure I could use it on this particular.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was a psoriatic arthritis outbreak or not.
And it was just really weird the way, because I know personally I wasn't healing the way I normally do. I'm finally beginning to heal the way I normally do, but it looked different.
It's been very weird.
Yeah.
But we don't want to get into that because that might.
But yeah, I just wanted to mention that, you know, can't remember why. Rain, weather, yeah. I am still using my Offer It Up Buttercup mug, and I have Irish Stout in here because when I don't want to think about it, I just grab that.
I wanted to do that, but I have one bag and about maybe 4 or 5 servings in there, and that's not enough to last me until next March. So
Right.
I'm trying to. It was hard, but I'm trying to pace myself so I can at least have a better chance of having it go a little bit further. And the one I really like to replace it with, I can get more of it. It's another one of my blends called Scottish Morning Owl. But I thought this is a really good one too. I might as well change it up a little bit.
Right. Right.
So, all right, we do have the alongs. I did pull for prizes this morning. Actually, I pulled for them yesterday.
I guess it would have been.
I pulled for yesterday. We've got some new winners this time around.
Oh.
Some new ones and some returning.
Okay.
Okay. For the first quarter, I'm sorry, not the first quarter. For the second quarter of the ABC Mal, our 2 winners are I Know Who You Are.
So that's, you know,
Okay.
pretty normal.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. And Jodidiah. Okay, so I Know Who You Are and Jody, contact me. You guys each won a prize from the ABC Make Along. Like the way it's going to be from now on is just easier on me is to just, you guys won and you're going to be surprised.
And it also makes it easier because we've noticed that I crash the longer we go. So if we're able to streamline things for the actual podcast, it makes it so that way you guys probably get a better experience as well because I'm not as likely to be dying at the end.
Yeah. And so, and I've got feedback that you guys like the surprise, so I'm glad of that. Okay. The Autism Awareness Prizes, Angie's Hip. So Andrea, that is Andrea, right? Okay, Andrea, we need to touch base when you email me to figure out what we're going to do because shipping to you is a pain in the rear. So we're going to discuss Etsy or Adagio or whatever it is you want to do that way. So contact me for that. You won for the autism awareness.
Yeah, because we still want you to get your prize. We just had to figure
yes.
out the best way to do it.
The best way
you.
to send it to you. Okay. And Wombat of Doom, Patty. She came out of hibernation and she won something. The Wombat of Doom is back. Okay, Patty, Wombat of Doom, and Angie's Hip and Andrea, please contact me. You guys won for autism awareness. Thank you to all who have participated. Congratulations to the winners. The winters, yes, the winners. We always enjoy seeing. I went through. I hearted a bunch of things.
Yeah, I end up looking at them usually when I set up for the actual when I did the intro and stuff.
I actually went through before I started pulling for prizes. I'm trying really hard to set up my schedule so I can get back in there and be at least active enough to either. This thumbs up is not hard. It's a thumbs up, right?
Yeah.
Thumbs up or smiley face or whatever it is. At least that, and maybe comment now and then. I'm trying to be really good because you guys are the first love, so to speak, because you are our longest friends. So I want to make sure I don't neglect you guys. But those are the winners, the 4 winners, and we are in the third quarter now for the PHN alongs. The alongs that are still going on, we're going into the third quarter ABC Make Along. I'm not going to go into the rules. It's in the group thread, and you guys have already been doing this for 2 quarters, so you know what it is. If you're new and you want to do this, you're going to have to get on PHN group anyway, so you can check it out there. It has all the information about featured patterns, featured
and
yarns.
honestly, it's going to be easier to understand when you read it.
The new along that we're doing now is the CDA, the cardiac dysautonomia arthritis make along. Okay, and this runs from July 1st through September 30th. Can't believe we're already looking at that. Okay, and the majority of the rules are as normal. Okay, and you will find them in the group. We do have featured colors, featured yarns, featured patterns. All of that is in the group. There are multiple chances for a prize.
Mm-hmm.
You are responsible for making that happen yourself because the group, even though the group is back to a more manageable size that is active there, it's just Ty and I don't have time to make multiple postings. You guys, and I'm sure Rena doesn't have time either.
Well, also, that was something we only did eons ago, back when we first started. We haven't done that in double-digit years.
No, I know. And I'm just saying it for anybody who's new.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I can't think of any group that did what we did at that beginning point.
Yeah, we were very
And by we, you mean you.
enabling. We were enabling.
You
guys, we were babysitting.
You were.
Anyway.
I didn't do that.
Anyway, all the information in the group. If you don't know how to get in the group, that is also in the description box below the video. Okay, let me have some tea because we're going to go into our projects and whips.
I'm letting my tea sit a little bit because the flavor hasn't completely reached where I want. And I think also I still have chocolate for my snack in my mouth. So
This one is already mellowing out a little bit. All right, let me go to... This is, I'm on my, thank God I am on my Paperwhite, but it's smaller than my Kindle, so I have to do more scrolling. And I might...
Now, you remember the trick I showed you where if you go at the top and you hit here, you can then kind of have an idea of where you're going to go.
I can't read that.
Well, my point is like, okay, you know it's not going to be, it's going to be where the numbers are most likely. Okay, so here's your projects.
Yeah. So, but I have
okay, so you were already there.
yeah,
Okay. I guess we could have looked for the unhighlighted.
Okay. So the first one I have is in my...
And we need to streamline your notes so it'll be easier for that. Like you talked about taking out things like the needles and
I'm going to
stuff.
have to do that. I have to figure out... And when I do that, I'm going to retype it because there's some funky formatting going on here. And no matter what I do, it won't go away.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to maybe do something different. But anyway, this is in a bag that I got from our local yarn shop. It's Knitter's Magic. But the bag is not made by Knitter's Magic. It's someone that she sells.
And she doesn't put tags in there.
She doesn't put tags. It's a really nicely made bag. If I ever decide not to use this bag for knitting anymore, it'd be great for just a tote.
Yeah.
So I love the material. This is Talia's Cherry Bomb shawl project I've been working on forever. Just because. So here it is. I did work on it. I think the last time I worked out with a podcast. But it is, you can see this is my favorite shawl pattern work. Nobody is surprised, I don't think.
No.
So I think the only one that rivals it in terms of what I like, the finished project, is the one you gave me that I made one for me and I made one for Lisa.
Yes, it was
Infancia de
yeah,
Recuerdos.
that was one of the earliest patterns I gave you.
Yeah, and I really like that, but I have to have the brain space to
Well,
do
yeah,
it.
it's lacy and stuff.
But it is repetitive.
Right, once you get into the rhythm.
Once you get into it, you get into the rhythm. I just don't have the space in my head right now to do it. Part of me wants to get one of my own yarns and make my own colors and do my shawl in that. But anyway, so this is...
Well, how often do you wear the other one? Is it a shape you wear much anymore?
I think it can potentially be, right, it needs to be blocked again. That's why I haven't worn it.
Because that's something before you'd make something like that. Again, you have to examine, like, if you want to spend that amount of time making something you might not wear.
Daddy really likes that shawl, too. You know, he doesn't call it the grandmother stuff. He likes that one.
Which probably means it's the least efficient of your, like, effective for when you're cold.
I was thinking along the lines of Easter and Christmas and, special days and things like that, where you want to wear something a little more fancy, and it looks like it takes a lot of work, but it really doesn't.
No, I get that.
The other one that you gave me with that one, I have not been able to make. I tried it a couple
times.
Right,
I think they were by the same designer.
It is. I think you gave it to me in a bundle.
It might have been. I can't remember. That's eons ago.
But yeah, it was a long time ago. But anyway, this is...
You weren't even knitting yet at that point.
No. This is by Anastasia Zattel, and I'm surprised I remember her name, but I did a lot of testing for her. And
well, and also you've done her pattern so many times and have said this pattern by Amanda Zattel so many times it's almost second nature.
Yeah, Anastasia Zattel. Yeah, she was very talented. She stopped. I think she stopped. I mean, I lost track of her when I left Ravelry.
I never really did her patterns. Actually, I never did her patterns.
The scarf that Daddy liked so much was a test for her. But she did a slip stitch scarf.
Actually, I started this one, but I didn't enjoy crocheting it enough. I just don't really enjoy crocheting unless it's toys. So I ended up being like, yeah, no, I'm not making one of those.
Which is why I make these for her all the time. But yeah, that's
and I get compliments on them all the time when I take them out.
Your dad's like, you're wearing that blanket again. I'm like, it's not a blanket. Actually, what he told me he objects to is not so much that it's a shawl. He doesn't like the multicolors.
Right, which means he might actually like the yellow one you're making better.
And he likes my Miss Marshall shawl, which is a different pattern, but it's got the colorway is sky blue pink by Socks That Rock, I think. And it's very subtle, the pink in there. And he likes me to wear that. I wore that today. And
so it's more that he doesn't like the almost patchwork kind of feel.
Yeah, he said, I think he feels like it maybe brings down the outfit. It lowers the ensemble, so to speak. But yeah, so that's this one. I guess I have to do another one. Let me see. Okay. And it's much along the same vein because...
And this is when I was talking about because of the colors, he might actually like something like this better.
This is in my Chronically Crocheting llama bag. It was a gift from the very lovely Crystal from Chronically Crocheting. And it's really a nice bag. It's very sturdy made. I don't have any problem with the handle, the pulls, which is really nice. And this is Talia's Squash Blossom shawl. And I actually worked on this more than I worked on that one. I brought it with me places. And this is my bag. Cardinals bag.
I need to finish my hood because you might need some of my Squash Blossom that I have. Although you're not anywhere near that point yet.
No, I have to still put... because this... I did personal use and took my 2 DK daffodils out of my shop.
And it's just enough of a difference that if you look, you squint, you can see that it's different, but it also is subtle, which is what I wanted.
This is more yellow with some of the orange in it. The orange that's in here is very close to this, but it's mostly the yellow, which is much brighter.
Yeah, because I knew what I wanted. I didn't want something that was as variegated or as much of a patchworky thing for this particular one, because I picture this one with pure black outfits.
Yeah, because I actually had other things pulled for this because you were talking about doing something else, and then we decided that that's not what you wanted.
Yeah, so this is the first one you're doing that, and it's probably good thing you get the other one going as well, because I could see maybe after a while where you would get bored with all the lack of variation I have permitted for that one.
Well, the fact is the other one will have subtle variation, so that'll be good.
So, anything else with... Okay.
No, except to say this is Miss Babs and mine. And I'm not going to make a point of saying all the yarns unless it's my yarns. A little bit of self-promotion there, but, you know.
So, in my Lollipop Girl yarn bag, so that's Laura's that she gave me. This is, I think I have this set aside for heels, but this is a sock that was actually, I had it in a different pattern, and I tore it out and restarted it and put it in the Afterthought Everything socks. It's not actually what the pattern is called. The pattern is called Making the Most of Self-Striping Sock Yarn. So I decided that I wanted to do this yarn in that. I think this might be, again, a Lemonade Stand or whatever she's called.
Lemonade Shop? Or...
Yeah, it might be Lemonade Shop. And this is either Nautilus or Nautical. I think it's Nautilus. And it's, I don't know how I remembered that. It just came to my brain randomly the other day. I was like, oh yeah, it was a water inspired thing. I'm pretty sure it was Nautilus.
Yeah, it looks like a water with
life jacket or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Safety vest or whatever.
So I've had this colorway forever. I think when I used it before, I used it for a stethoscope cozy. I think I used it to design a stethoscope cozy. So I will finish the skein and then I'll put in heels and toes with a different yarn. but it's like that's what my gobstoppers are going to be used for mostly, are going to be these Afterthought Everything socks, because then also if I wear out heels I wear out heels like crazy, it should then be fairly easy to pull out the heel and replace it because it's an
Oh,
afterthought.
right. You don't even have to patch it. You can just put a new heel in.
That was my thought process. Now, whether or not it'll work that way, we'll have to see. But
I guess it depends on where you put the hole.
yeah. Well, I tend to put it like right around here in the actual heel area. So
See, I'm weird. I put my hole, I could on there, but I put a lot of times in the back or on the, right along.
well, that might mean that your shoes are rubbing against your sock.
Yeah, I guess it could.
Because if it's right around where the shoe hits the sock, that would make sense. I know mine is a gait thing, and I also know that it may not even take. It doesn't always take that long for me to wear down a sock in that area. It's just, well, we know that my gait's weird.
This is making me happy.
Oh well, good. But yes, so
Not her heel. This.
I was happy to start this, and I'm using actually those chow goose that we thought that we wouldn't like. These work very nicely for
the ones with a
a bend in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
It actually works very nicely when you're doing magic loop for the sock. I actually rather like them.
for magic loop.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try it because I want to do. I keep saying I want to do this. I have never sat down to do it. Ty even made me maybe a tutorial.
What I'd like is the fact of the way it bends on against your hand. Because look where it ends up. Instead of having the straight line where it might feel like it's pushing
Right.
hard against there, it actually is a very comfortable grip.
Because I can't see myself necessarily making socks, but I would like to. I can make a hat, but it's the closing up that's always the problem. And
Because look at where it's like where now it might be different for different size hands, but look at where my my hand ends. It ends right in that bend, and it works very nicely.
well, like I said, I want to see if I can make hats with it because that's what I generally like to knit is hats. And also, if I ever decide to do baby stuff, the sleeves, I know I could probably use for that a 9-inch, the little.
I don't like doing
those.
that way.
They hurt my hands.
No, I don't like doing that. And also, a lot of times it just stretches whatever you're working on anyway.
Oh, does it? I don't know.
That's my opinion anyway.
I haven't really used it enough, but it seems like because I'm sorry, I'm off screen, but my thing keeps falling down. It seems like you would be so tight that would hurt my hands.
Well, also, it's going to, if it's that tight, it could risk, if your project is just barely fitting on there, it's going to pull the stitches.
Well, I think a baby sleeve would be fine because you're talking about something about this big.
Yeah, but if your needle is so small that it's going to fit something that small, that's too small. Because
people like it.
Well, my point is that it shouldn't work if the diameter is that small because that's smaller than the 9 inches.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would guesstimate. I don't know how sleeve.
No, it shouldn't be big enough. That wouldn't make sense.
The only baby sweater I knitted had the cap sleeves.
Honestly, which makes a lot of sense for babies anyway. Okay, so I'm done with this. Your turn.
Okay. Oh, I love this bag. Kim from Me, My Dog, and Some Yarn. Ha! Yay, Kim. I didn't think, when I got this, I was like, oh, I'm not going to like this. How am I going to tell her I'm not going to like this? But I do. I love this bag. It went to multiple
Fiber
festivals. Yes, I have the word in there somewhere. Fiber festivals. This would be the bag that I would stuff the main bag, and then I would hook this on the handle.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love this bag. It's amazing, and it's perfect for little, like your hats and your smaller projects or something that you're just starting maybe, and you can transition out or whatever. But in this bag, I have my garter stitch scarf. It's a green scarf. There's no pattern. It's just straight garter stitch. I haven't really done a whole lot on this. I keep getting, every time I pull it out, I have to put it through the over, under, around, and through. But yes, so I did a row and a half or 2 rows on this. It's a very long row, so it takes a while. you know, and it's only garter stitch, so it's not a problem. And I was going to make it for somebody, and then I decided, I went through several reiterations of what I was going to make, and finally said, I'm just going to make a garter scarf, and whoever wants it can have it. If nobody really wants it, then I'll just take it to, you know, to a shelter or something. I'm sure somebody will like it. It's very warm feeling. I forget what the yarn is. I think it's one of the yarns that I bought when our local yarn shop was closing. One of our local yarn shops, they went to Warrenton when they were moving.
Yeah.
And I don't have the ball band anymore, but it's some kind of, I think it's some kind of a tweedy type of thing.
It does look like it's kind of tweedy.
But it feels how you can feel how it's going to be warm.
Yeah, it is. For a second I thought I recognized the yarn, but no, I don't.
I think it's a Barocco.
Mm.
Because I think that's what I bought from her, a Barocco of some kind. I think that's what it is. Anyway, it's really pretty color, and it's a really pretty, it'll be really pretty when it's done, I think, even though it's very, very plain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have to say about this.
Okay, so then the other, after that, everything sock, and I found this bag and I didn't remember that I had it, so I was like, well, I'm sticking a project in it.
That's so cute.
So it looks like it's made by Clever Clementine.
Did you win that, or was it given to you?
I have no idea. I'm thinking maybe it was given to me.
Yeah, I remember when you got it, kind of.
But this is the watermelon colorway. Again, I think it's Lemonade Stand. I think it might be Lemonade Stand, Lemonade Shop,
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's not mine.
No, it's a Gobstopper. I know it's not yours. So I have this much of the yarn left, and when I'm done with it, I have to do the toe on this end, and then separate to put the toe on in the middle somewhere, and the heel, So actually, I would have to put in the heels for both of them. So what I'd have to do is put the toe on the end. Then I'll end up separating because I'll have to put a cuff in here somewhere and a toe in here somewhere, and then adding the afterthought heel as well.
That sounds like, if I could ever get comfortable with doing that kind of stuff, that sounds like the kind of sock I would want to make, because there's no closing. There's closing here.
Well, the thing you wouldn't like about it is it's afterthought, so there is cutting.
No, that's what I said. If I could get past that.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they made the seeds all over, the pink and the green.
Well, I think that's probably just the easiest way to do it.
I can guarantee that's the easiest way to do it.
So, yes, that is that. I hadn't realized how far I had made it through that skein.
Let's see here.
I mean, I guess I should have realized that tube is pretty long. I have a feeling these might end up being shorter socks because I had used some of it.
I'm trying to get a little bit of work done on things, because I know the next 2 weeks or so it's going to be dicey when I can get crafting done, just because we have things going in the next couple of weeks, and then we hit my husband's birthday and all that stuff. It's been kind of a roller coaster, because we had our anniversary what was it, 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, something like that.
It seems that every time we finish something else.
Yeah, we're going to get back on our routine, and then.
Well, also, there's been so much rain lately.
Okay, my next one. Sorry about the clanking. My next one is my crochet owl, the little owlet, crochet owl pattern, little owlet project.
Oh, I forgot you were working on that one.
I'm really not sure if I'm going to finish this or not. We'll see. I think I did something wrong, but I might be able to salvage it. It's in my tortoise versus hare bag. I'm not my tortoise versus hare. My tortoise bag. This bag. One of the first bags from our tortoise versus hare that Anne did for us. I did work on it a little bit. It seems to be very narrow to me, but this is Sidewalk Chalk by Marigold Jen. She doesn't make yarn anymore, as far as I know. And so when I do, I will put it down like this. I think I'm going to...
Well, you probably need to do, like,
a
placement stitch there.
Well, no, I'll do it when I'm done. I'll just...
That's what I mean, like when you're done.
When you're done, you leave it and you pull it through. So I think I could go around a couple more times, even though I know I'm just kind of winging it right now, because I don't know where I got off. I think because the yarn is so dark that I missed something somewhere.
And you might have been tired. And...
Yeah, who knows? But it's sidewalk chalk, and I'm happy because that means now I'll have something that I'll be keeping. I do have a pair of socks in this, too, that Talia made me. But it's kind of hard to see what it's going to look like when you have the...
I think I have something I haven't worked on in a while, but I have a, not these petals, a hitchhiker using sidewalk chalk. And even though I don't wear scarfy type things, I haven't been willing to let go of that because the pattern's such a fun, once you work on it, it's a very fun and potato chippy pattern to work on.
I know that there are a couple, I'm clearing out some of the stuff that I don't wear, knitwear and things like that. But they're like, I have something from Brittany that's staying, and I have something that Valeria made me that is staying.
Well, I also need to make better use of some of my ones that are neck things, because sometimes my neck does get cold, and I don't make good use of them.
And I have a friend at church who, she wears scarves all the time, because she says sometimes she gets cold on her neck, Lee does. And so I'll give them to her. I think she'll like them, even if she uses them in the winter as opposed to the summer. If she doesn't want them, I can...
Well, I can see, honestly, me making better use of my small neck shawls. Not that in-between size. That in-between size is awkward.
I don't like that. I think I'm going to have to maybe...
It's funny, like, it's almost like if it's a smaller shawl where it can mostly be on the neck, that's easier. Not a full-on scarf, because I don't generally like full-on scarves.
I prefer cowls. But I have the weights. I still have my weights.
I tore out my weights.
And I can't bring myself to tear it out because they're knitted.
I reclaimed my yarn.
I do have a couple that I really like. I haven't worn them in a while, but they are hard to figure out how to wear. At least for me. But anyway, that has nothing to do with my little owl. I have to stuff it a little more. It's definitely kind of not stuffed properly. But I first want to maybe do a couple more rounds if I can. If not, I will just stretch it a little bit and pull it up here, so like that. It'll be fine. It'll be cute. Just maybe not.
Does he have eyes that you place?
Yeah, you put on either side.
That's what I thought.
But I need to figure out
where that would end up.
Yeah.
We'll put stitch markers where you think it'll be, because that's the only one I do.
Usually I end up doing crocheted eyes, but this is too small.
It's so dark also.
Yeah, it's too small. Well, crocheted eyes would be white with something, but this is too small for that. I almost would have to do a mask here.
Yeah.
Pull it down and then put the eyes on top.
Yeah. I don't think that would look very good.
So, so I think I will probably find some eyes and put them in before I stuff more. I'll do this, pin it down, and then put the eyes on either side and pull it back up.
Yeah, I have some smaller eyes.
Well, he's gonna want big eyes because he's an owl.
Okay, good. So you probably are the right size.
I hope so. Yeah, and I have this much yarn left. I'm not sure. I guess maybe this will go on my blanket next. But
okay, so next is, I didn't work a ton on this, but I did work some. This is, I didn't remember to bring it with me. This is the spider donut from the I think they're called Donuts, Amigurumi Pals or something like that. My goal is to make every single donut in the book. I wasn't going to make the spider, but then I was like, but I have to make all of them. So Mom said if I did bright colors, she would take the spider. And so I haven't gotten to the head yet or anything, but got two finished legs.
Look at the socks. He has striped socks.
So 2 out of the 8. Here is the icing with the web on there, and then the pink cake.
Is that's not a
It's all your yarn.
No. Oh, is it? Yay.
Even the webbing.
That's my silver silver bills. And then this is,
it's one of the autism awareness.
And this is this, I forget what I called that.
Yeah. So it's all different ones of your yarn, include the blue as well. I think that this might have been from an exploded Christmas yarn that you maybe for Davina's Christmas stocking.
Yeah.
So I figured, well, hey, I have a lot of Mom's bright colors. I was trying to see if I had the ball band still for the bright color one, like for the multicolor, but it doesn't look like I do.
It's like makes me happy, I think. Let me see.
That's not makes me happy, because makes me happy is what's in Felicia, and Felicia doesn't have all those colors.
I'm trying to think what this is, because I have two. It's okay to be different. One's primary colors and one's
Right. This
Right.
might, well, this has so many more colors. This might be one of the older ones because at the beginning you did thoughts and awareness. You did all the colors, and you're like, yeah, I can't repeat that every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Well, I figured out a way to do it without repeating all the different colors.
I have 2 day legs done. I was gonna start it, another one. I think it was on like Wednesday or Thursday of last week, but that was when the worst of my eye swelling was developing, and I just didn't feel well enough to work on it. I was too uncomfortable, so this did not get all the work that I wanted to do on it. But once I'm finished with the legs, I think all I have left is the head and putting in the eyes.
How many do you have left?
Well, I have 2 out of the 8.
No, how many? I'm sorry, that wasn't clear. How many projects do you have left?
1.
Okay, so we did this correctly.
Mm-hmm.
In my larger of my 10-year PHN Potiversary bag, I think we're on 13 now or something, or
Something like that.
yeah, finishing up 13. This is our 10-year Potiversary bag. My husband is making noises about making us a new logo because our hair, both of us have short hair now, so he's thinking about doing it. Unfortunately, we don't have Anne to do the bags, although I bet I could contact her and she would.
I thought she reopened her shop.
She did, and that would be something where maybe it would be like, okay, this is what we're doing, and it would be on demand, you know, for her, because just it's not the same dynamic that we had before. But so this is our 10-year Potiversary bag, and if we do another one because of the difference in hair, we'll let you know. This is my corner to corner scrappy
Although I think she has to have a certain amount to make the fabric worth it.
I don't know, she seems to be willing to do.
Okay.
Because she does it at home.
That's true. That's true. And I guess
It's not like she goes and gets it done somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is my corner to corner scrappy baby blanket project. I'm not sure this is a baby blanket. I will see what happens. And this is from the Knot Ball pattern by Shannon Long.
I was thinking, like, if we do that, we can get the bigger bags so we can make more blankets, and that also use more fabric and make it more worth her while as well.
So that's this. You can see I've got the blue
I need
in
to
there.
work on mine. Now mine's a fingering weight.
Yeah, mine is a DK.
I should have worked on it during the last Zoom when, even though I wasn't quite feeling it up to par, so I wasn't knitting anything, I could have done the lightweight blankets.
Right. This one it's medium weight, I think. And I'm not going to work on it
I'm
right now.
sometimes surprised. I'm usually actually pretty surprised by how warm a knitted blanket can keep you, considering the fact that it's not as heavy as a crocheted one.
And I will, I'm not going to work on it right now because I want to check my pattern to make sure. I'm pretty sure it's one and then back and front and then go all the way one. And then,
I need to go back to working on my log cabins because I have ones that are meant for my lap that I haven't worked on. Now I know right now it's kind of warm, and also when I'm at the point where I need to pick up stitches, a lot of times it goes for a while because that requires more focus than just knitting on something.
and I think now I know what front and back is, even though this is marked as front. Where I add the color, it's going to be kind of like, that'll be the back for me unless it goes on both sides because I add something else. So you had it here too. So it makes a nice design element regardless.
Well, I think it all depends on, because you're adding, the colors being added in wherever it happens to come in.
Yeah.
So you're going to have those lines randomly pop in.
Right, because I have
Because it's not like you're choosing where to add it.
I have a great big ball of yarn that's all different yarns. You can't see what's under this color next.
Eventually I want to do a heavier weight one like that as well.
This is a beautiful color. I think this is a Miss Babs. I forget what it is. But it feels like a heavier kind of DK weight. So
I know personally, because I, with the mass self, I'm having a bad day, I will get super chilled. So having several different kind of blankets to choose from is never a bad thing for me, or different shawls or whatever. Because if I'm having a bad day, I can have 3, 4, 5 different layers.
I know that I sometimes will get overheated if I'm doing too much.
If I'm overheated, generally that seems to be a POTS flare versus a mass cell one. Mass cell seems to make me cold. But that's just the way I've been trying to figure out.
My body has been weird since menopause. So, heat, hot. Well, I've always had like weird temperature, usually cold. But when I'm working with yarn and stuff, it's like if I'm rescaling yarn or whatever, I'll get really hot and I'll have to, kind of shed things if I have sweater or whatever. But yeah, so I did a fair amount of work on this. And then I guess toward the beginning of the month, or the beginning of the between podcasts, like the first week or two, and then I went to other things.
Right.
So,
let me finish these 2 stitches, and then I can show the last one. I didn't work too much on this next one. I think because I made I can't remember if the mistake I made was from this time around, or I made it previous time and realized that it had. Oh, I know it was. I dropped a stitch. So I had to fix that, and then I was like, okay, once I fix this and go a little further, I'm gonna stop because I realized I was probably too tired to continue at that point. But it still got some work on it.
look at the name of this. Officer of the Paw?
Huh.
I don't know what that is.
Maybe a Pup Patrol.
But it's Miss Babs.
No, I mean like she might be a reference.
Yeah, but I can't think of what color it would be.
Mm.
I guess I'll see when it comes up, maybe.
So, Paw Patrol, I think, not Paw Patrol.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
So this is
My platypus.
Franklin. This is Mom's platypus. The pattern's actually called Freddie, I think. Freddie the platypus.
I think you're right.
This is a Joanna Johnson pattern. It comes from her book that's called Freddie's Blanket, I think. And I love her books. I think I might be missing a couple of the original ones, but I have all of her books. I have a couple of pattern books I keep up here. Hers tend to be in that grouping. But yeah, this is really cute. I'm on the leg. Like I said, I dropped a stitch, so I picked it up again. I was like, yeah, I'm obviously too tired to do this at this point. And I think maybe I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to have to start changing the next stitches, and I didn't want to do that at that point. But look, I mean, I have this leg, then the other leg, and then I worry about the tail. So I'll end up stuffing, I think, before, well, I
might get it for Christmas.
Well, it all depends because I need to do his overalls.
Oh, I forgot about his overalls. He can't be a naked little platypus.
Yes.
Scandalize people.
Unlike my fully made bunny who is naked and has all her clothes options.
So cute.
Yes, and initially the pattern calls for stitch dyes. I chose to go with the plastic ones. So, yes, he is a very cute pattern.
He has a hole in his back.
And ever since, for whatever reason, ever since I saw him start making him, his name's Franklin. I knew his name was Franklin. Which why I have to think sometimes when I tell what the pattern name is, because I think of him as Franklin. Not Frankie.
I don't even get to name my toy.
And normally I wouldn't have that like strong feeling. I don't know why I've always had it with this pattern.
Scritch, scritch, scritch.
So, oh, and this bag is a bucket bag that I was given. It's an Erin Lane bag. And actually I was surprised by how much I do enjoy it. And this was a gift from Margaret.
Yeah. Well, that's like how much I enjoy my bag with the see-through, where you see through that Renegade me. I didn't think I would like that because it's plastic.
Yeah.
But it's really nice for what I do with it. It's I'm surprised how much I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, my last project is in my Mama C Turtles bag. She made this for me. She quilted it.
I love quilted things.
It's got this turtle on one side and that one on the other. So I don't know if they're siblings or buddies or what they are, but they're pretty. And I love this. This bag is ginormous. I love it. And in here is my lime green baby blanket. Very original name. And Christina does put her tag in here.
Which is awesome.
So I haven't really done too much on this. Because this, if I sit down and do it, it gets done. I mean, literally, it flies. But
and then after this project, we just take the break. Otherwise, I'm going to have to split the video.
That's fine.
And what works well, you should be ready for your tea break. This is the last project, and then it's extra stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to have more tea or not. We'll see.
And if it's not, then we just take a quick break, bathroom break or whatever.
I'd like to have more tea. It's just my stomach is acting a little
Oh,
weird.
if your stomach's acting up, maybe you should at least grab something to settle your stomach.
Well, I was thinking our smooches.
Well, that's a good idea.
So this is it's not the ice yarn. It's the yarn we got. Remember?
Yeah, I remember when you get it.
Love Crafts. Or
I
whatever.
can't remember what it was called though.
It
was it Jewel? jewel box or something
I
like
think
that?
it's Style Craft.
Paint box?
I think this one's Style Craft. It's either Style Craft or Paint Box. I can see over there. I think there's Style Craft.
Okay.
So I got enough to make blankets, but if I have some left over, I will take each one of them. If there's like one ball left over, one a little bit, and I will knot them all together
And make
another blanket. Either knit or crochet. If I want to find, I know that Rena has done it. Maybe if she sees this, she can tell me what pattern it is, where she does a corner to corner crochet, and that would go a lot faster than the corner to corner knit.
Right.
And if it's not too difficult, I'll just do that with the ball and with all those colors. And if I can make a big blanket out of it, so be it. You know. And if not, then I go to whoever. But yeah, I like working with Style Craft. It's a nice yarn. It doesn't knot up. I can go back and fix my work without much difficulty, and so I'm enjoying working with it.
Okie dokie. So we will be back. We're going to take a quick break, but yeah, we will return.
We shall return.
Okay. Okay, so we are live again. So I think we determined next is the journals.
Okay.
So, do you mind doing yours first, and then I'll do mine, and then you'll do yours?
I might as well because it's not that great of a journal entry. I always hate to do my journaling because she's so much better at it than I am.
No, the thing is, that's not even accurate because I know that it took me a while to find what I wanted to do because I'd look at your stuff and like, oh, that's so pretty, and then I couldn't make my brain work that way.
Our brains definitely work differently. I'm still trying to figure out where my interest, that interest is not the right way, where my
I'm just pressing it
focal
down
point
because it
is.
looks like it's trying to come up.
or where my focus is for this. I'm
Well,
all
maybe
over.
you don't need to be focused.
I am all over the place.
Maybe yours is not focused. Yours has different feels and different, the way it's going to be each time. Maybe it's just going to be different, which is God's definitely its own value.
This, I forget what it was. I think it was the first day in ordinary time. I didn't date. At least I did date this. June 2025. I didn't put a
Yeah, you
specific
have
date.
Celebrate the Ordinary on there.
It's. I think it was when we went from Easter season into
I think that is when
ordinary
it was.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually, when I got here, first off, if you see this little thing, the sticky note, I don't know if you can see the picture.
It should show up.
This right here. That was my rough, and I have it here. I actually like the way it looks in here.
So you're gonna keep it there.
Keep it there.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually like the way that one turned out as opposed to the way this one turned out.
Now, are you going to keep it as a sticky note, or are you going to glue it down partially?
I might glue it down partially.
Mm-hmm.
I can pull it forward like this, or pull it over like this, and you can see. And the flower is just a very rough child's type of flower. And then I put the words, let's see.
You celebrate the ordinary.
And then I found the sticker, and I thought that looks nice. And I thought, well, maybe do I want to put more in there? I was like, no. Sometimes simple is just better. And I'm going to leave that there. I think that adds.
No,
something
it definitely
to it.
does.
So I just have
And
to.
that's like sometimes for certain kind of journal where it just is random like that. Something like this works well because it's random. It has its whimsy to it. Oh, did you have dead flowers that came off?
They may have come off of here. It's right here, I think. I'm going to have to see about putting that back on.
Yeah. Maybe keep it open there so you...
That's one of the things about... This came in one of my packets, and it's actual flower.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I realized that when I got it or not, but it's hard to stick on. I think it fell off. So I'm going to put this here for now so I know where it's at. But, so this is my only page. And it took me about 5 minutes to do, not counting the time that I did this one, which took me about 3 seconds. But yeah.
Now, since last time I showed, I had to try to find where I was. Okay, so I think I might have shown Ishmael. I think I showed Ishmael. I'm pretty sure I showed Ishmael. Then I have this one for what Jane Austen's characters read and why.
Very nice.
This one was for a book I did not actually enjoy, although I'm keeping it because I refuse to let the book win. I will probably attempt to reread it at some point. I enjoyed
If
this.
you finished it, then how will it work?
I didn't finish
Oh,
it.
you didn't finish it.
I like this cameo type feel for
I
this
like that.
right
Yeah,
there.
it's nice.
And I have several of those
It's
I can
like
cut out.
Wedgwood.
Okay.
It almost looks like it's textured, but it's
Yeah, you
not.
almost feel like you can touch it and feel it, which is kind of cool.
It's a Wedgwood type of thing.
Yeah. Then this one is from The Way of the Rabbit. And I happen to have a Beatrix Potter stamp. And I wish I had remembered that I had other bunny stickers when I had made this, but it works well with what I had. This is early ephemera that I had purchased, these bunny ones. So I was glad to finally get to use them in a journal entry. And I was glad to get to use one of my reading bunnies.
And I'm finding that I don't need as much of the actual ephemera.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it I can find online. And now with AI, I have a love-hate relationship with AI, but I can make things and print them out, and they'll be unique because nobody else will be created again.
Now, this here, I still have to do the review on it, and I don't have the library card itself because it's in the book upstairs that you guys have borrowed. But this was for bird trivia. These are all pictures of birds actually from our feeder, from our bird cam. So, and I tried to grab as many different kinds of birds that I could.
You cover it up. There's no budgie.
I never had Budgie.
There's no budgie. Budgie was a visitor.
And he was before the bird cam.
Yeah, he was. He was a visitor. He must have escaped from his house, and he came over for like 3 or 4 months and then disappeared. I hope he survived the winter.
And here I have, we had a woodpecker who decided that he was a hummingbird.
It's too bad we don't have the squirrel who thought he was a bird.
Well, that was before.
Yeah, it was.
Bird cam.
And there's no cam anyway
Yeah.
because there's no camera on that.
Yeah. So, oh, and I forgot. These are actually not one picture. These are 2 different pictures that I just pasted together.
Right. I can't. Yeah.
You can barely see where the seam is. There's the seam.
Good.
But I have to write the review for this. And I have to write the review for
Why does he have a box on his head?
okay, so this is an invention. It was called the tranquilizing chair for mental patients.
Oh, okay.
Now, believe it or not, this was an attempt to make things more humane.
Oh, I bet. It's kind of like destimulation. It looks
Yeah,
like.
it because prior to this, they mostly would keep people just like in a, basically it sounded like a dungeon almost. And he did try his best to improve things, but I mean, this was way back.
They're still feeling their way. You want to shut that off?
Well, if I'm afraid if I shut it off, I won't be able to Bluetooth it off. I'll just flip it over so it doesn't bother you.
No, I was just worried that you'd run out of battery.
Then I have, I have a couple different pictures
His
of
name
him.
is Fried.
No, that's the
Fried?
author's name.
No, I know
Stephen
that, yeah.
Fried or Stephen Fried. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. He also created a moral and physical thermometer. Things about intemperance. Funny thing is, I believe he also did something similar to this when he was courting his wife, where he had some sort of like love thermometer. Like I couldn't find that one.
A little bit OCD there. Or something.
And then he had written a defense of the use of the Bible in something I can't read. So this is one of his tracts that he wrote. He wrote one on yellow fever. But yeah, I still have to write the review for this. I really enjoyed this book. This particular one,
No reviews.
Huh?
No reviews.
No, these aren't reviews.
Okay, no, I'm just saying no reviews.
Yeah.
They can go to book 2 for reviews.
Yes. So this here is for a book on the Johnstown flood. My biggest goal was to not even have my review be the center focus. I wanted the focus to be on the actual tragedy and on the victims. So I actually typed out probably, it was close to 2 pages worth of the names of victims. That wasn't even a fraction. It was the smallest fraction of what was available, the names. The names of the deceased go page after page after page after page. And quite a few of these, some of these are repeated names in the ones I typed up because they're family members named after each other. So you might have grandmother, mother, daughter, or something like that. so that's what my so-called washi tape is. I typed up those names, and I had extra ones I didn't end up using just in case I needed more. Then these are also actual photographs from the tragedy.
Copies of the photographs.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. I should say that. They're prints of the photographs, and so I think what I thought was a 3 is actually an 8, because the 3 doesn't make sense for the date, because it was actually near the turn of the century.
It is.
And that wouldn't make sense if it was a 3, because it was near the turn of the century.
317. I don't know. That looks like a 3.
It does look like a 3, but I mean the water was still up there unless they.
Just look at this one and look at that one.
I guess the only thing I could say is maybe they dated the picture, because that's not when it happened. It was close to the turn of the century.
Well, what were you thinking it said?
I thought that it said it would have been 18 something, and 1836 is too early.
They would have had that kind of photography in 1836.
That's what I'm saying.
They would in 1936 possibly.
But it's not as late as 1936. It's in it's close to the 1900s.
It may be that they took a photograph of another picture.
Oh, and maybe said when they found the picture.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
that looks like a 3 to me. It doesn't look like an 8, and I don't know.
So you have the one that always sticks in my head, and they've mentioned a couple, McCullough mentioned a couple times in this book, is the picture where the tree actually landed through the window, just perfectly. But yeah, so, sorry, my splint got caught, and you can see a little bit more of just underneath. But like I said, I wanted to have as much of the page covered as possible. And that's why I also have I don't normally have a pocket for the library catalog card as well, but I didn't want the catalog card taking as much attention as it normally does, so I needed to have it hidden with the ability to be pulled out. And this is one of the cemeteries for the memorial, just for victims. And I think this is only one of the many. But yeah, so that's it for. Because, that's it for the ones that I did this past time. Like I said, a couple of them, I still need to do the actual reviews. But, yes.
Very nice. Okay, I do have, finally, some yarn from the shop. I cleared out all my bottles of dye stock. So these are all one-offs. They're limited editions. You cannot get them again. Mm-hmm. So I was going to do a summer surprise type of thing. I'm not sure if that's going to go off or if I'm just going to put these in the shop. But these have not yet been photographed. So, and I don't have names for them because they're limited edition.
Right, you can't repeat them.
If I name a limited edition, I can't repeat it anyway, and I don't want to waste a name. So this is a fingering sock, and let me do this one because it's already
half off.
Half off. So it looks like this. And I keep in mind that I got all these skeins out of the same leftover dye stocks, just different ways of putting them together. Mm-hmm. So this one, it's really pretty.
Yeah, you went on a tear of dyeing for a little bit.
I have 14 or 16 skeins here to put in the shop. Mm-hmm. They're all one-offs.
And they're 2 of each, right?
They're 2 of each except for one.
And of course, it's the one that you were hoping to be able to use for a specific project. But
yeah. So I may put it up in the shop, or if somebody really likes it and they want it, they can tell me. But it's a very plain skein. And you'll see that when you see it. But so I have, generally for these, I have both a DK and a fingering sock version. So here's the other one. Okay, DK and fingering sock. Okay, that's 4 skeins. Then this one, obviously, this is also leftover dye stock. It's just not the same ones.
Yeah.
And this is also DK and fingering sock. So this is what it looks like. It's not, these have not been reskeined yet.
And the bases actually didn't take the colors any differently, unlike sometimes where you.
Some of them did, but not all. Most of them did not.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. They're all basically the same base, just different weights.
Mm-hmm.
But here we go. So you can see. If anybody should see one that they like, let me know and I'll put your name on it. Otherwise, it'll just go up.
Mm-hmm.
I had fun doing this. It's been a while since I could just.
And it was like a few weeks where it seemed like you were dying a lot.
It was about a week or 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was able to do, like, depending on what method I was using,
Mm-hmm.
I could do 2 or 4 at a time. So that's the greens and the purples. And then I have this color. Oh, I lost one here. Here we go. Oh, I remember. Okay, this one I have 5 of.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is, it's a DK, one base of a DK, and fingering sock, and another base of a DK. So
But yeah, this one looks like it might not be nylon, maybe.
yeah, this one is full. This one's full DK, and this one is
Full wool.
Wool.
Yeah, it looked as soon as I looked at it, like that doesn't have nylon in it.
These are both fully wool. There's no DK in either one of them. This one has a little more yardage.
Well, okay, so it's a lighter DK. Are you sure it's not a sport?
No, it's a DK.
Okay.
This is a DK. It comes from a different. I have 2 different
Okay.
providers, if you will. So I will use this to show you the color because it's all by its lonesome.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same colors that I used for the purple. And this is what I got. I just did different kinds of proportions. Now you could use this DK with the other DKs. They're both 100% superwash merino wool. They're just from different providers. That's really pretty color. I was really happy the way these came out. I was watching Chemnitz and she lit a fire under me.
Mm-hmm. That's always nice being someone that inspires you.
Well, she always does.
Mm-hmm.
I never do the things exactly the way she does it because she has like the.
Now, do you have her on Notify for Everyone?
I think so.
Yeah, because she sounds like you should probably have her that way.
I really like her, and I really need to write to her and tell her how much she does, because even more than the classes I took on Craftsy, which were good and they helped, but I seem to connect with her. She just seems to she's fun and she has a way of doing things. I'm like, oh, I can do it, but I'll do it this way. And someone who helped a little bit with that too was Kay when I was following her stuff.
Right, because you guys have completely different colors and styles, but Kay always has her way of expressing information has always worked for your brain.
Yeah. I have 2 more colors. Now this is the first that came out of this color. I really like this.
I really like the way that one turned out.
I dumped everything I had left in the pot for this.
I love a nice rich brown.
And this is really pretty. It's a very deep brown, but it has some kind of like, it has like variations, like a lighter brown or kind of a gold. I don't, you might be able to see it there. So I have 2 of these, and they are DK. And I really, really like this. If I could figure out what to do with it, I wouldn't put it in the shop. But since I don't know what to do with it, it's going in the shop.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that it would be good for, I think,
and it looks like most of what she has here, it'll be superwash, but it does not have nylon.
Right.
So if someone is looking at socks, this would not be the best option.
And there's just slightly more. This is 115 grams.
I can actually smell can you smell the yarn?
Yes. Yes. And it's yarn. It's not my cleaner. It's actually the yarn.
No, No, it definitely smells like yarn. It
Like
smells
wool.
like wool.
Yeah. Now,
Slightly damp wool.
the last, and it's not damp in any way, shape,
I don't
or
know.
form.
That's the smell I associate.
So,
that's what I associate the smell with.
That's this yarn. Okay, this is what I got when I did everything. I took the exhausted water and I made the next skein. So it's going to be a lot lighter. It's kind of a camel color, I guess, like camel color. But what I did was I did it once, like with half of the color, because I had a great big pot to do this. So I did half of what was in there, or a quarter of it, or whatever. And I looked at it, I was like, it doesn't really look much different than...
Right.
So I put it in for a second time. And I dumped out that water and put more of the exhausted water in there. And this is what I came up with. And this is also a DK, so you could theoretically use it with this.
It would be very nice with the brown.
So this is, it's got, the interesting thing about this is that it's got little specks of green in it, you know, every so often. I mean, not like, it's just like little random, and it's not a whole lot of it. My husband really liked this color.
This one also smells like yarn.
I can find the green now that I'm looking for it. It's just, it's little bits here and there. You know, you won't be able to see it on the camera, most likely. Just little random specks of kind of a foresty kind of green, I think is what it was.
Here we go. It's kind of a light.
Yeah, yeah. It's very, very light, hardly noticeable.
Yeah.
And so this was what I got from the Exhausted dye bath. And it goes with, oh, you can see the brown in it now when I do this. Well, that would be pretty.
Well, you could almost do an alternating thing, because I was picturing almost like either you'd have to do almost like, it would be one of those smaller shawls, but you would have the brown be the main color, and whenever you go into this, you do alternating for a couple rows, and then you go into this, and then you alternate for a couple rows to head back on the brown. I think that would be very lovely.
Be nice for a like you said, a small shawl, or if you knitted it, you might be able to do a larger shawl.
Or a small poncho.
Yeah, this is, because this is 250 yards. You have 750 yards.
You know, enough to cover like the neck and shoulders.
A cowl.
Right.
A cowl. That's what. So
Now, if you don't want something that goes up the neck, that's why I said almost like a poncho type thing, where it's like, because I know personally, if it goes too far up the neck, sometimes I'm uncomfortable.
I mean, if somebody wanted to do something with this and make it bigger, they could theoretically get a cream colored yarn. I wouldn't say, I'm looking at my undyed yarn, and where
I think they'd be too white.
it's definitely too bright. Because I was mistaken.
And you almost hate to ruin these things that came from the same dye, period, dye bath, whatever.
It's exactly the same percentage of color. It's just that this took all the color out. This is what was left.
Yeah, they're kind of meant for each other. And I feel like they kind of need to go together.
We'll see if anybody likes them enough to pick them up. And what do you think I should do with my yarn? Do you think I should do the surprise, summer surprise, you know, or should I just put them up in the shop? I would be interested in knowing what you would like me to do with that.
Now, the thing is with the summer surprise, because people have already seen it, there's only like 4 or 5 colors, so.
Well, the people who have seen it, if they want it, they get first jump. They just tell me, I want the dark brown, or I want the purple, or I want the mauve, or I want the green, and then tell me the weight, and I'll put their name on it.
Right.
So we got, if you are one of those who might be interested, there's no pressure. I'm just saying, if you are, this is the dark brown. Okay, it's a DK dark brown. This is a DK camel, is what I'm calling it.
Or an ecru.
I'm calling it a camel.
Our camel's darker.
The camel color is not, if you look at a camel coat or something, it's a light camel.
I wonder why camel coats are like that when actual camels aren't that color.
If you look at a camel, they are camel colored.
I guess you're right. I guess they seem like they're a little darker.
These are the mauve, or mauve, M-A-U-V-E. That's what I'm calling them, the mauve, kind of a pinky purple. And I
don't know why every time I look at them, I'm like,
I have a
mulberry.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
DK or fingering weight, okay? And then,
I think it's actually the first one that you showed that made me think of mulberry. I don't know why, because I don't know what mulberry is.
the green, DK or fingering weight, or the purple, DK or fingering weight. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you are interested in any of them, that's great. Let me know. I'll put your name on it. If not, that's fine too. No pressure. Just let me know if you
Right.
think the surprise would be a fun thing to do, or if I should just go ahead and take pictures and put them down as limited editions.
Right.
Okay. That's all I have to say for the shop, but I'm happy. This is why I didn't get more done. Well, I did get some done for the knitting and crocheting too, I guess, but
Well, having a month to work has been helpful.
well, I also it's odd because I also did a lot of booktubing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, so I have just one stash enhancement. The Ehlers-Danlos Plushy Dreadful finally became available. This is the newer design, which is actually the non-ugly one, the cuter one. And she's really soft. First of all, here's her bag.
does she share the bag or does she have a different one? Or she does have a different one?
She does have a different one, yeah, because this one has the different splints on it. It has the different assistive equipments. Plus, I think this is supposed to represent the dizziness and stuff, and also the flexibility. There's a hand there. And then there's her cute little face.
Some of their stuff creeps me out a little bit. A lot of it is really cute.
Now here, come on, baby. So here she is. I'm pretty sure it's a she. Regardless, her she doesn't look like an Eddie like the more creepy one does. So I'm going with Danny. And if I decide it's more of a boy than a girl, it still works. Pretty sure this is a girl though. Young, whatever. Comes with 2 splints. And then the zebra for the ear. And they even have...
Look at her little bunny bottom.
So the little tag, the newer ones, they seem to have the tag coming with it, explains it. So the wide heart scar for regular wound healing. And this covers multiple kinds. Oh, here's the wide heart scar. There we go. This is supposed to cover all the different kinds of Ehlers-Danlos, not just the hypermobility, which is what the long kind of Tim Burton bunny did. Okay. Heart with branches symbol. That's this one here. Okay. For heart issues and visible veins. Cyan with purple accents for cyanosis/acronosis and easy bruising. Braces for joint instability, and zebra ear pattern for EDS awareness. Now, I don't get the cyanosis as much as I used to. I used to my feet at college. My toes would actually turn bluish. And of course, that was also before I had any sort of medication to manage and try to get my blood moving. But yes, just a little cutie pie. Gonna sit with my others with Migraine and Potsy. Don't know when their massa will eventually be developed, but she's cute. I think she's the smallest of mine.
Yeah.
And apparently this is a she, because I keep calling her she.
Oh, that's what she is.
Which makes Migraine still the only boy. And apparently his name is going to be Migraine, because I haven't been able to figure out any other name for him.
Yeah.
So.
And he has his buddy Krang.
His buddy. So yes. Ehlers-Danlos version 2. Just recently got released.
Okay.
Okie dokie. So that's it for us.
So that's it for us. We hope you enjoyed your visit with us for the Fun in the Woman Cave. And we wish you a very blessed month. To those who won prizes, please contact me with what you won and where to send it. All the pertinent information.
Yeah, I guess which along you won for, because they're not going to
Yes.
know what they won.
Yes. Well, yes, of course. That's what I meant. And then if anyone's interested in yarn, let me know about that. And let me know about what you think about the surprise listing as opposed to a regular listing. And have a very great month. And we'll see you next time.
God bless. Bye.
Bye.